Hi there guys, it's Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's market update, as usual, we're going to check out the smp500 and then we're going to take a look at the asx200. But before we do that, I have to remind everyone that aussiecharttrends.com.au and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site from this video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm just here to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. So let's now take a look at the S&P 500. Looking here on the hourly chart of the S&P 500, in last night's trade, we got up to that level, that 1435 level, and we tagged on that area. Now, for some time now, we have been looking at this inverted head and shoulders pattern down here, and we had a measured move by adding this onto where the market broke out, up to around that 1430, 1435 area. Now, the fact that we have hit this area now, we were expecting that we would get there as a minimum expected target, but because we had resistance around this area, the markets have come back down. So now, where do we go from this point forward? Well, what I would love to see is that the market would eventually come down and tag on this red line around that 1415 area. Because if the S&P 500 could hold around this area here and then come up and take out this red line, we would be looking at an even larger pattern, and that would be shooting the markets all the way up into the 1500s. But for now, we just got to watch this this trend line here and wait for a clear break, and then we could expect to see maybe a potential bounce on this area. If this area was to break, then we would probably most likely come down to around that 1390 area, potentially get a nice bounce there. Just one last thing I will say is you can't make this stuff up. Technical analysis does work, and if you know anyone, family or friends that may be interested in this sort of analysis, I would just please ask that you spread the word and my free YouTube channel. And all I ask is that everyone that watches subscribes to my channel. Looking here on the hourly chart of the asx200, in today's trade, we achieved our minimum expected target around that 4,595 area that we were talking about. And as you can see, when we got to this level today, the market sort of went a bit sideways to down. But that target was definitely achieved, and that's just by measuring the depth of this pattern and adding that on to the breakout. So where do we go from this point forward? Well, I would expect a pullback to at least this area here, around the 4,570 area. I think that we probably most likely break this area and come down to tag around this 4,520 area, or a test on this top line to our symmetrical triangle pattern. So it'll be interesting to see if we do get a nice pullback, then we'll have to just track and see what happens, further data on the charts. So guys, that pretty much wraps up today's market update. I can't really give a new target because we don't have a pattern at the moment, but we will just track the market and see what the S&P 500 does in the coming weeks. I hope you're enjoying my updates. Thanks very much for watching.